Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be sharing with you my journey of how I got pregnant with twins. And it's going to be everything from how I stopped my birth control to how I tracked my ovulation, all the way to the things that made me suspect that I was carrying twins. So if you're just curious and want to learn more how I did all of that, make sure to keep on watching because we will talk about all of that. So obviously this is my own experience, and if you are researching or want to do some things, obviously talk with your providers because we will be talking about some birth control over here. So let's start from the beginning. I have been on birth control for a very long time. It was almost for 10 whole years, which is quite long for hormonal birth control. And in April 2019, I decided that I wanted to switch from birth control pill to an IUD, something that had less hormones and that was a little bit more localized. So it wasn't the copper IUD, it was the hormonal IUD. But then I thought it was kind of like affecting me emotionally and physically. So I decided that I wanted to take it out in 2023. So on March 16, 2023, I got an appointment and I got my IUD removed that same day. At first, I wasn't really necessarily trying to get pregnant. I just wanted, my hormones to get back to normal. I wanted to see what a real period would feel like, experience what we're supposed to experience, I guess. I don't know. But I really wanted to feel whatever I had to feel, and to regulate everything before considering to get pregnant. I just wanted it to be out of my system in a way. But by April 2023, which was, like a month after, I realized that I really wanted to be pregnant and I was getting a little bit older. I'm not old in particular, but I was 25 and I realized that I wanted to be pregnant. So we started trying after I decided that I wanted to be pregnant, that we wanted to be pregnant. And since I was on birth control for so long, I didn't know how my cycles would regulate. Before I got on the pill by itself, my periods were extremely irregular. I would bleed for 2 weeks on end and it was extremely painful. So I didn't know what I was expecting. So I decided to start tracking my cycle because I never did it. And I knew nothing, even though, you pass some time through high school in science class, they teach you a little bit about the cycle and everything, you don't really know everything that you want to know. So I decided that I wanted to track, and I'm going to share with you guys what I tracked my cycle with if you want to use these as well. So the first app that I started using was the health app on my phone. There is a section for a cycle that you can track your cycle. So you can put your periods, you can put your symptoms, you can also put your ovulation tests, you can put your progesterone test. There's a bunch of things that you can input into the app, and it's going to give you like an estimate of when you are ovulating, which it's really nice. It's fun and it's easy because it's at your fingertips, especially if you have an iPhone, which I do, and it just makes everything so easy since I use the health app on a daily basis. It also helps you see a pattern over time. So I also use the Flow app because when I would have eventually gotten pregnant, I wanted to follow the pregnancy with this app as well because there's really great insights, and it gave me kind of like estimates as well and trends over time of when, around when my ovulation would happen. So it's a great app as well to track your cycle and to track it beyond. And the one of the most important thing that I have that helped me track my ovulation was my Apple Watch. So I did buy a new Apple Watch in, was it March 2023? I think it was the Series 9. And honestly, it made such a huge difference. And the reason why is because it tracks your sleep regulations, it tracks your breathing, it tracks your heart rate, it also tracks your temperature at night, and you can see patterns and trends over time. So if you are trying to take your basal body temperature with the Apple Watch, it is extremely easy. You do not have to take your temperature at all. You just need 4 hours of consecutive sleep and it will track your temperature over time. It takes like 5 to 6 days beforehand to get your, average on your Apple Watch. And then after that, you can see the trend where it's going, which is amazing in my opinion, because I don't have to worry about anything but wearing my watch at night. The heart rate trends and the temperature changes can mean the hormonal shifts. So when you look at a BBT chart, you're going to see that when you are ovulating, your temperature will go up a little bit. And when, let's say, you have an implantation, it will dip and then come back up. There's a bunch of things that you can look, but we're gonna see that later on. And the next thing that I did to track my ovulation was to get these LH strips from Amazon. So these are the Easy at Home Pre-Mom LH strips, and they are very, very accurate, and it really helped me track my cycles over, a couple months before I could get pregnant, just because at first I didn't want to be pregnant. So I at least did it 2 months before I got pregnant. But they work quite well. You just have to pee a little bit into a cup, you dip it in there, and then you wait for the dye to rise, and then you wait like a minute, and then you're going to see your LH, if it's high, if it's not high. It's very easy to use. There's a booklet inside of there as well. And I definitely recommend these ones, you guys, if you're looking for LH strips, because they are really inexpensive and they work really well. So using all of these tools together really helped me control the process of everything, because I like to know everything. I like to know when, and my LH is going up, when my ovulation occurs, and all of my symptoms. So to me, it's really important. I know a lot of people, it might be stressful to try to get pregnant, but this was reassuring me because I had like a say in the process of getting pregnant. Like, I could really know, okay, so this is around the time that I might ovulate. This is around the time. And I did a lot of research to make sure that I was grasping how it was going to happen. So it's quite crazy if you think about it, creating a human life. It's insane. And obviously, before I even wanted to be pregnant, I decided to start taking, my prenatal vitamins in April, and I started taking my omega-3s, drinking more water, buying this water bottle, which is a Brita water bottle with a filter, because I wanted the filtered water to go in my system, and all the stuff that I needed to do. And I was trying to eat very, very healthy, fruits, vegetables, cheese, milk, protein, everything that I had to eat to try to be as healthy as possible. I was doing yoga, exercising, going to the gym, doing some fast walking as well. And I was trying to do everything right to make sure that I was perfectly healthy for this future pregnancy. All right, so the month that I got pregnant, based on my tracking, I was pretty sure that my ovulation date was on March 20th, 2023. So there was a temperature shift. There was my LH that was super high. My heart rate was changing as well. So I could see all the signs that was leading up to ovulation. And then it was just like a waiting game to see if, I ovulated. And obviously around ovulation, or around your time that you're ovulating, you are trying to conceive. So you do the deed to make sure that you will conceive, and that the egg will go down the fallopian tube, and that will implant in the uterus. So quite crazy. And I know that usually it's 6 to 10 days. They say that implantation occurs, but 6 days later, exactly on March 26th, 2023, I looked at my basal body temperature from my Apple Watch, and there was a dip into my temperature. And also I had like a little bit of cramping in my symptoms. So I was like, oh, maybe I did implant on that day. So there was a lot of things that would tell me that that I was gonna be pregnant. It could happen that you have cramps, doesn't mean, but sometimes you're more sensitive to the changes. If you are trying to get pregnant, you're gonna be more attentive to your body, and that's what I was trying to do: be more attentive and just look at all the signs for pregnancy. And I think I had like an orangish spotting as well. So all the signs were there for me to be pregnant. And you guys, I got so excited. I couldn't wait. So I was just testing a day after. I was testing like every day because I really wanted to see like the line getting darker and darker, and I didn't want to miss it. And the first light line that appeared was 9 days post ovulation, which is crazy to have a positive pregnancy test 3 days post implantation. It is kind of crazy, to be honest. And seeing a positive test that early made me think like, oh, maybe my HCG is going a little higher than usual, because most of the time it takes like more than 3 days to get a positive pregnancy test. So it made me wonder, oh, like, am I carrying twins? And like, I had kind of like a feeling that I was pregnant with twins. So that was really crazy. And which later made sense because I did find out at my 12-week scan that I was pregnant with twins. And that was my first scan. And I didn't know before that. I just had a feeling. And the signs that it might be true, sometimes you have a feeling, and that doesn't mean that it is right. But there was a lot of signs, you guys. So my HCG was extremely high 3 days after implantation, which I thought was implantation because, there was a dip in my BBT chart. One of the quickest signs that I saw is that I was gaining weight like crazy. So usually you gain around, I don't know, 5 pounds in the first trimester, but I was gaining over 10 pounds in the first trimester. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And that doesn't mean that it is twins. Some people, they just gain more weight a little quicker in the first trimester, but it's just, I went from 103 pounds to 114 in that very short period of time, which, was crazy. And I didn't look that pregnant, which is insane considering that I was carrying twins. And sure, at my first ultrasound, the ultrasound tech was like, oh, do you have twins in your family? And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, and I found out that I was carrying twins, which was one of the best days of my life when I found. I can just remember we were so happy, ecstatic. It was crazy. It was absolutely insane. My boyfriend almost passed out. He got to his knees. And I was like so in shock. I couldn't move. I was like, oh my God, I knew it. I knew I was carrying twins. It was insane. And that's the story, how I got pregnant with twins. Oh my God, you guys, this was absolutely insane. And when I left the hospital after my first scan, I felt so high. It was like, oh my God, I saw my little babies on the ultrasound screen. It was just unreal. I was like, oh my God, I am carrying life. That is just insane. You don't think about that. You're like, okay, yeah, I'm pregnant. But then when you actually see it on the screen, you're like, wow. It's insane. I don't know if you guys got pregnant before you have kids, but it's just a feeling that you just cannot describe. It's such a warm feeling, and it's such a beautiful feeling. And it was an amazing, amazing thing to find out. That's really crazy. Anyways, I really hope that you enjoyed this little story time. And yeah, tell me down below how you're pregnant. Did you use any tools, any tracking, anything to track how you got pregnant, or you just like, went at it and got pregnant like that, and you found out later? But that's kind of insane. But anyways, now I am a mom, and I am so glad. I love it so much. It is the joy of my life, and it's absolutely amazing. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, make sure to like the video, share it with somebody that wants, some tips and tricks on how to get pregnant. Also, if you're just curious, if somebody's just curious, that's amazing as well. And make sure to comment down below your experience with getting pregnant, what tools you used again, and yeah, how many kids you have. I would love to know as well. So anyways, thank you so much, guys, for watching this beautiful video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure to subscribe for more content on this channel. And I will definitely see you in the next one. Love you guys. Bye-bye.